All right, here we are. Impact and Influence Radio right here on iHeart. Mr. John Robert Quinn here, and I'm hanging out with Christian Perry today. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing good, sir. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. And today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento, Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts, 916-790-8689. So, Christian Perry, we met you at one of the BBB events. Are you already accredited with the Better Business Bureau?
So I haven't. I've had contact with them for the past few years since I've started the business, but I've never gotten accredited.
You need to.
Yeah?
Yes, you really need to. There's a lot of events. There's a lot of things happening in the community here, happening at the office. I mean, you've got events like literally every week. There's something happening here, and you could be, getting all of that and attending those events. BBB is a wonderful tool. It's, it depends on how you look at it. Do you want to spend the $50 a month or $49 a month? Honestly, it's the best money that we spend.
You know what? And I don't believe that's too far from the truth, because even when you and I meeting was at the BBB, their event out in Del Paso Road. So it's definitely something I'll look into. So I've heard that there's value in it.
Well, here's a prime example. If you want to do an article in my magazine, I'm going to charge you $600 in Impact and Influence magazine. If you're accredited with the BBB, you get one free article a year.
I see.
Just being accredited. So if you're at $50 a month, that's $600. It's the same. It's a wash. Basically, you get your accreditation and all the benefits of the BBB, and you get your article at no cost.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see exactly.
And then you also, all of the different events. You get the Torch Awards. You can get nominated for a Torch Award. The Torch Awards is the big gala every year that all of the Northern California accredited businesses are nominated, and you can win an award. And now you've got the bragging power and the credibility. When people are going to the BBB website, they're looking for credible businesses. They're going to, of course, pull you up because you're accredited. There's a lot of benefit for the money. And you'd think that I work for the BBB. I don't. I just believe in their product clearly enough to have my office in their building.
Right.
It's just a great organization. All right, so let's talk about what you do. What do you do, brother?
Great question. So I'm a veteran. I'm also the owner and the responsible managing officer for Burnette Construction. So that's going to be a general contracting company out of Sacramento.
Okay.
We specialize in complete remodels, new construction, kitchens, bathrooms, essentially anything within the sphere of residential remodeling.
What got you into this? I saw on your website that it is some passion of yours since you were a kid.
Right, I would say so. So I've always enjoyed building. So it starts with things as simple as, bionicles was my thing as a child. That's what we had in the 90s, and I think that just building block to where I am now. At 31, I just turned 31.
We had Lincoln Logs. Did you guys have Lincoln Logs?
Lincoln Logs, I've never seen that before.
It's just these, they're like little logs, and you can build log cabins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to build. I remember I built. I was like 4 years old. I built a log cabin. It was as tall as me. So I'm sure there's a picture of it out there somewhere.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've seen that one, but definitely bionicles and Legos in general. But anyways, back to how I got started. I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. I was in the reserves. So I was a 35, 36, a wrecker operator. And as I was doing my task and my duty essentially associated with the Marine Corps, I did also construction. So then once I was honorably discharged from the Marine Corps, it just made sense to take it on for fledged, and make it a company.
How was the Marine Corps? It's funny because I grew up in a military family. Going into November, it's October right now. Breast cancer awareness is our focus for our October issue of Impact and Influence. November is veterans. My father's an Air Force veteran. My grandfather's a Navy veteran. How was the Marine Corps? Was it really challenging? Was it, one of those things that changed your life and it made you who you are today?
Right. So in terms of it being difficult, I think it's depending on how you would describe the word difficult in general, what your idea is of it. Essentially, when I first joined, it was just a kid from Del Paso Heights, not necessarily understanding how certain things work outside of that sphere and outside of that area.
Yes.
And then from there, once I joined, I was able to see, okay, there's individuals doing things very differently, but not so different, because my grandfather was also in the military, Mr. Burnette. Nonetheless, it was an experience, so I give all praise to that, aside from God, for being the man I am today in 2025, the Marine Corps anyway. So it was difficult, but like anything else, you strive and you get through it to get to it.
Now, when you when you went to the academy or the boot camp and the whole thing, was it eye opening? Was it like, holy smokes, why'd I sign up for this? Or was it just like, I'm ready?
So that was the initial thought. I'd say maybe within 24 hours of me getting there, you're sleep deprived, you don't have very much food, and those moments may creep in, but at some point you understand that you're here for a reason, and that intentionality helps skyrocket just me in general as a man. I think that was what was necessary to get me to where I'm at today.
Yes, and that's where I'm going is you've carried that philosophy into your business today.
Yes, definitely.
You still make your bed every morning?
Yes. Still make sure I PT multiple times a week. You got to make sure your vessel is in part, you know what I mean? Last thing you got to worry about, especially doing what we do in business, is why is your body not doing what is necessary to accomplish whatever it is in front of you in terms of the task.
You see me limping. Is that what you're saying? You see
that
me
was
limping?
That was me last leg day, so I get it.
My feet, I got really, really bad feet. And, oh my God, dude. It hurts. It hurts to walk every single day. You sit for 20 minutes, your muscles all tighten up. As soon as you stand up, your feet just feel like they're on fire. And there's nothing you can do about it.
There's no medicine, no sort of exercise.
Yeah, I can take drugs. Why would I want to do that? And just keep pounding Advil or Tylenol all day long?
Oh, but you have to remember that any Tylenol or any pharmaceutical in general derives from some root. Like, that's what I take.
Yeah.
I take multiple roots a day, and that just keeps me right. Maca root, ginseng, horny goat weed, zinc. So there's a few.
Very interesting.
That give you that same effect as a pharmaceutical.
Do I get the voice?
Oh, no, this is God-given.
What, did you always have a deep voice when you were a kid?
Great question. I'd say since 14.
And what happened at 14? You just woke up one day and you were Barry White?
I wouldn't say that. It was more so me yeah, actually, it is kind of how it happened. I woke up one day and it was summertime, spoke to my mother, and she never mentioned anything to me, and I didn't recognize there was a real difference until I got to school, that following semester. Then at that point, it was a revelation. Everybody had noticed it, and this has been me ever since.
All the girls were like, "Whoo!"
A few of them appreciate it. A few.
Oh, my God. All right, so construction, improvements, remodels. Explain to me the difference between remodels and improvements.
So it's essentially the same thing. The words are synonymous with one another.
Okay.
All we're going to be doing is going into your property and then making it of value. So anything that's distressed, anything that's broken, we're going to fix it to increase the overall equity.
Very, very interesting. All right, so what do we want to get into? Passion, who you are, what you do. We already talked about a lot of this stuff. So residential, commercial, what types of rooms?
Okay, so on the residential side, again, it's going to be the things that bring the most value to your house when you sell it, which is going to be the kitchen or the bathroom. We can also do exterior work, whether it be a deck, fencing, exterior siding, painting, but we focus primarily on the inside of your residential home. So again, kitchens, bathrooms, completely redoing the walls, whether it be painting, new flooring, LVP, marble, porcelain. It's all going to be contingent on the homeowner and their overall budget.
And then in terms of how people pay, do you offer financing?
So we do. We offer financing typically for our bigger projects. When I say bigger, I'm referring to our new construction, so our ADUs or our complete remodels. And a complete remodel is just going to be kitchens, typically 2 bathrooms, and then usually 2 to 3 bedrooms.
Very interesting. Roof?
We do roofs also.
Foundation work?
We do foundations also.
Windows?
We do windows.
Carpeting?
Carpeting, yeah. Most people don't work carpet, but yes, we can.
People aren't doing carpet anymore.
Not that I've seen. Usually it's LVP. That's the more modern.
Okay.
For 2025.
What's LVP?
LVP is let me see, how can I describe it to you?
Laminate, vinyl. What's P?
I don't know what P is. You got me. I don't know. I've installed so much LVP, and I don't know what the last acronym means.
That's so funny.
Yeah, nonetheless, it is.
Let's get that mic back in front of you.
Gotcha.
There we go.
Yeah. Nonetheless, though, yes, it is linoleum flooring. So yeah.
Very interesting. What else do you want to add? What do you want to tell the audience? What's something that you really want to share with them?
I'd say right now for our company, aside from being able to provide quality craftsmanship, quality service, we show up on time, we do what's necessary every day. This is my legacy. So individuals giving us work or showing up and performing is me having a family is contingent on us doing what we need to do on an everyday basis. And I say that to say we're at the phase where we're at now with our company where it's grind time. Any individuals who are willing to, again, give us an opportunity to show value is appreciated, because this is my family and me creating something again for my children and for the people who's going to come past and after me. You know, their success is contingent on what I'm doing today.
Now, Burnette. So your name is Christian Perry. Where does Burnette come in?
Right. So Burnette comes from my grandfather. His name was Hosey Burnette. He had a really big impact on my life. I would say, with the exception of God, I would put him second and the Marine Corps third. He passed away, and with his passing, it did a lot, not just for me, but for my family. And it just felt right that with the big of an impact he had on me and where I'm at currently in life, you know, that I honor him and consistently remain in remembrance of what he left behind.
Parents?
I'm sorry?
What about your parents?
What about my parents?
I don't know. You're talking about grandpa.
Got you. So that grandfather is on my mother's side. So her name is Burnette also.
Yeah. So you know, my parents, my grandfather was a very defining person in my life. My parents, sadly, not so much. So I was just wondering if it was kind of the same dynamic, where your parents kind of missed the mark a little bit, and then so grandpa was the one that really, you know, helped carry that legacy and help build, you know.
Right. I'm a firm believer of it takes a village, you know. So I had my grandfather, had my grandmother, and multiple aunties. My mother and my father were both present within my household, but for some reason, maybe it was just God, the individual who thoroughly kept a residence in my mind, whether it be going to school, as I was going to the depot for the Marine Corps, or as I was going to take my contractor test. The individual who I envisioned was always my grandfather. So although I did have other family members and relatives, that gentleman specifically, you know, greatly impacted who I am.
It's funny that you mentioned that, and the reason I say that is because, you know, we started this talking about, you know, veterans, and we talked about, you know, my grandfather was in the Navy, and in our November issue, we talk about my uncle and my stepbrother and my grandfather, and my grandfather's picture, his old military photo is there in the magazine. And it's kind of the same thing. It's one of the people that it's funny, you know. God gives us certain people in our lives that are the ones that really make the impact.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's our job, especially with what we do as business owners and entrepreneurs, is how we meet somebody is understand that they were likely put there through God. At that point, it's your job to discern for what purpose are they there for and for how long. You know, and that's why anybody I meet, I try to make it pleasant, I try to be peaceful, and I try to give some sort of value in any way, whether it just be my words or my experiences, because we have a very short time here, you know.
It's funny. So, you know, we were talking about the movie, and I would love to have you play one of our, you know, really mobsters in our movie, in the High Rise Films. I think you'd have a lot of fun with it. It's a great marketing tool. It's a great dynamic, but clearly your look and voice could be very, very sinister as a character. But we talk about, you know, why? What is my why? Why do I do the magazine? Why do I do the music? Why do I write the books? Why do I do the movies? Why am I doing this radio show? You know, my wife and I, we don't have kids. You know, so my wife is a career-focused person. I'm a career-focused person. I believe that we are put on this planet to make this planet a little bit better for the people who are here after us, whether that is leaving children, whether that is planting more flowers or trees, or using our talents to make it just a little bit more peaceful for the people. And, you know, the radio show, we're sitting here trying to help small businesses. The magazine, we're trying to help small businesses. The movies, we're trying to put smiles on people's faces. The music's the same thing, and the books is all information and knowledge. And it's kind of what you're saying here. You know, God puts certain people in our lives to make an impact and create that legacy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And then I want to respond to you. I'm definitely open to that. The movie idea. Again, it's something very different.
I think you'd have a blast.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because it's. You remember when you were a kid and you'd play G.I. Joes or whatever it was in the backyard, and you create this fairy tale in your head, and you can be a part of it. And then as soon as it's done, right? And then
Right.
tomorrow you have the next fairy tale, right? Whether it's your Hot Wheels or your video games or whatever. With the movies, we create this fairy tale. We create this story that that we're these. Everybody loves mobster culture, right?
I would say so.
Everyone loves mobster culture, and you can create this alternate universe in a sense, and you can take it wherever you want to go, and you put yourself in this place, but you're actually immersed in it, and it's something that continues to give, because yeah, you take it and you put it on social media and people are like, oh, that's super cool, and it helps your business and it helps you continue to build your name and so forth. But you'll be laying there at night and you'll be like, I got this great idea for this character. Dude, what if we do this? And all of a sudden, everyone is like, we're all back in the room again and we're shooting new scenes for whatever the next project is, or even if it's this film and we just change the story a little bit. But we're all living in this fairy tale. And it's a way to take our mind off of the reality of the world. The world is an ugly place. So let's have some fun. Let's play. We're adults. But this is how adults play. This is how we play Barbies and G.I. Joes. Like we make movies.
Right.
And it's just super cool, man. It's super cool. And the movies actually, they're legit movies. I mean, they're on IMDb, Internet Movie Database.
Right.
The first one got bought by Prime, so it's literally on Prime. And then they air on Xfinity Cable, and you can, even at the YouTube and on our platform. I mean, they're out there. They legitimately get traffic. It's actually a thing. It's not like, oh, we're going to put it in a box and then no one's ever going to watch it. Like, they get real traffic.
Yeah, and then one thing I want to mention too is it's commendable to hear you've only been doing this for 10 months. There's a lot
the
that's
magazine?
been accomplished. Yeah, most definitely.
Oh, yeah. This magazine took 20 years to build, dude. It took 20 years.
Right.
So I launched my first magazine in 2005. It was just a little printout to help Sacramento bands, local bands. And I think we got like 6 or 8 issues out. And it just never did anything, and I had no money. We were charging bands like $5, to put their, write an article. I mean, I was in my 20s. I was like 20. It's 20 years ago, so I would have been 23 years old. I was a child, I was a kid. So, and then Frank and I, Frank started as a client of mine. He started back in 2015, 2016 on my very first radio show on 105.5. And over the years, we did his books, and we started building him radio shows. And then I got involved in his real estate business. And then when he retired from that, we said, let's do the movies. So we started doing the movies. We've been doing the movies for about 5 years. And Frank's been with me from day one in that. And then in January, I launched the idea. I threw the idea at him for the magazine, and he was like, "This actually could be something. Let's try it." And that's the prototype there. And so I was already here at the BBB, so I proposed it to the CEO of BBB, and she was like, "You might be onto something." So we were like, "Let's run with it. Let's see what happens." So we printed the first issue. Has no ads in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just articles, and I'm talking about my movies and talking about the books, and there's no ads.
Right.
And ironically, in fact, this gentleman here, he's on the cover of September. He calls me one day and I off the first issue, and goes, I like your magazine, but it's really lacking. You need to have some people writing articles or something there. You need to do. Said, yeah, it's our first issue. And he came on as a contributor, and then where he saw our magazine became an advertiser, and it's just grown from there. And it was about March that BBB said, well, why don't we do some trade? Why don't we become a sponsor for you? You give us the magazine as a way for us to communicate out to the public, but then we'll give you our network. So BBB gives me their network of 5,300 accredited businesses. I give them access to the magazine. And here we are 10 months into this thing, and we're at 26,000 subscribers, 150,000 views a month.
What would you say the end goal is for you?
Getting exposure to the small business. That's that's the whole point. I could charge a lot more. I don't need to charge a lot more. The magazine's profitable. It could be more profitable, believe me. It could be a lot more profitable. But the point is the magazine's been profitable from day one. And the small business actually is getting the voice. I think the big piece for me is I was always the little guy, and nobody ever really gave me a chance. It's really hard for a small business to get the exposure that they need, the mainstream exposure. We could all go and buy ads on Instagram, but really, how far is that going to get us, right? When you actually create a tangible product like this, something that's actually, reflectant of the community, it gets very expensive very fast, and we found a way to make it affordable. And I think that, for me, is the biggest element in helping the small business get them the exposure that they need.
Yeah, and I agree, because as we talked about even prior to us beginning to record, was just how expensive it is for a lot of things, especially when it comes to marketing. And most small business owners, especially when you're beginning, you don't have that type of capital liquid to just invest into that. So
when we launched our first radio show, when we were on 105.5, we were charging $500 for what you're getting here right now. $500, and people were paying it. We did 152 episodes of The Good Life. We did 78 episodes of the John Robert Quinn Show. We went to Seattle, Denver, Miami, as well as here in Sacramento. At one point, we had 18 shows on the air, because we were building radio shows for some of these other clients that we were working with. This is all before COVID. And and I always said, the moment that we don't have to charge for this anymore, we're not going to. And COVID happened, and of course that shut like everything down. There was no more radio shows. There was nothing. And that's where we started doing the movies, was during COVID. And then once everything went back to normal, we launched another radio show on 96.5. They went out of business, and then 105.5 went out of business, the station that we were originally on. So we said, well, let's team up with iHeart. So that's what we did. We went to iHeart, and it doesn't cost us anything now. So if it doesn't cost us anything, it shouldn't cost you anything. And that was the whole thing, was if we don't have to charge, then we don't need to. So we used to charge $500, $499 to come and do exactly what you're doing here today. And we don't have to do that now. Right. Now, the magazine costs us money, so you got to pay for that, right? I mean, it's not cheap building a magazine.
Right.
It's insanely expensive,
I know, and I can tell as I look at it, you have a lot of different articles and things like that nature. So
yeah, we're at 19 advertisers now. And we did not think that we were going to grow this fast, but clearly the space is wide open in the community. The community really needs this product. Right. It really needs this product.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing what you do a year, 2 years from now.
I know.
Especially when you're being as far as you are 10 months in.
Yeah, well, so the Torch Awards, the big event that's coming up November 6th, that's every year. BBB has their big gala. All 5,300 accredited businesses are invited. They don't come. You get about 300, maybe 400 people out there. But it's a full dinner, and they have an awards ceremony. I want to say there's like 300 awards being given out this year. Maybe I'm over-speaking, but I want to say that's about what it is. Long story short, Impact and Influence is one of the sponsors for the event this year. And the deal is that we want to be the sponsor indefinitely. And that was the whole point of part of that partnership. But where I'm going with this is the December issue, which is a BBB issue. It's an issue for the holidays. Your holiday shopping starts at BBB. The winners of the Torch Awards are announced in the December issue. That's a huge, huge piece. So, now we're starting to compete with the big boys in town, because now we have not only the support, but now we've got that audience. And, if you've got an event the size of the Torch Awards, and we're, one of the sponsors, and presenting the winners in the magazine, that's massive.
Right.
And going into the following year and the following years after that, it's going to be really interesting to see how big of an impact this magazine makes in the community. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Likewise.
So, before we get out of here, BurnetteCo.com, BURNETTECO.com, 916-821-9353. What would you like to close with?
Yeah, I also want to go ahead and give out my social media so you can see any of our projects online. It's going to be Christian Perry on Facebook, and if we're going to Instagram, it's going to be Mr. NZTD. I appreciate all the listeners for being attentive, to this podcast, and just hearing what we have going on in terms of Burnette Construction, Impact and Influence. And please do give me a call if you have any questions on the residential side of construction. Please do use me as a free resource.
916-821-9353. Thank you, Christian, again for being here. Absolute pleasure, man. It was really good meeting you at that event as well.
Definitely. I appreciate you, and God bless.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.